Hello, my name is Fabian Fröse. I'm a professor of human resource management and I'm your instructor for your course International Human Resource Management. This session will be online, available on YouTube and other channels. In the future, all the other sessions will be face-to-face. In this classroom, number 006. Come, follow me. This is how the classroom looks like. Let me tell you more about this course, but not in this classroom, but I will go back to my office. All right, now let us talk about the course. I would like to talk with you about two things. First, I would like to talk with you about what is International Human Resource Management. And second, I would also like to give you some ideas about what you can expect from the course on International Human Resource Management. So what is International Human Resource Management and why does it matter? There are many definitions how you could define International Human Resource Management. So I would like to give you some ideas what it includes. So in very simple terms, International Human Resource Management is human resource management, or if you would like to use other words, people management, managing relations at work for a global workforce. And nowadays, lots of business aspects, HR aspects are global in nature because there are people from different countries. A company operates in multiple countries. Hence, you have a global workforce. Almost all large private companies and even almost all large medium companies, they operate in multiple countries and they manage people from different countries. Even organizations that do purely domestic business, very often, they have employees from foreign countries. And then International Human Resource Management is the management of managing such a global workforce. If we think more of a multinational organization, then we can say that International Human Resource Management policies and practices that lead to the achievement of multinational enterprises' international strategy. So there's different practices such as how to recruit people, how to retain people, how to pay employees, and so forth. And that all should be aligned to the international strategy of an organization. What that is, we'll talk more about later throughout this lecture. Then, if you think, why does it matter? So International Human Resource Management and Global Talent Management are sources of sustainable competitive advantage. And yes, there are numerous empirical studies that do show the link between successful, well-implemented human resource management practices and corporate performance. Could be measured in all kinds of financial accounting based data. And the empirics is very obvious. Yes, there is a linkage. It's important to focus on appropriate management of people will drive corporate success. In this course, we will also talk about what factors have an influence on global workforce management or international human resource management. We can think of external factors that come from outside or internal factors that come off from inside the organization. And some of the prominent factors of the external environment that influence human resource management. I mean, recently what has become very obvious, the physical environment. And why I say it has become very apparent, think of COVID crisis, worldwide health crisis. Because of COVID crisis, nowadays, people don't go to the office anymore. Also this lecture is online. Next lectures will be in person, face-to-face again though. Or climate, hot and cold weather has an influence on how we manage people. As simple as it sounds. In very hot climates and that do not have good air condition, you need different office design, different working hours. Or traditionally in some countries that long lunch breaks because it was very hot. In Southern Europe, for instance, they had siesta. Nowadays we have air conditioning, of course. You can overcome such challenges. Other external factors could be the economy. If it's a highly developed, less developed economy, there are different ways how then to do business and how to manage people. One very important factor would be the social environment, or another word would be the cultural environment. What people think and believe in, what are their values, very, very substantial. And we will talk about that in more depth throughout our course. Or could be demographics, or new innovations, or government relationships, or intergovernmental relationships, or employee interest organizations. So there are many factors outside the organization that have a strong influence on the organization, and then also how then the organizations manage people. Then we can talk also a bit about the internal environment. Here we can think particularly about corporate culture or company culture, or organization culture, all the same, different terms for the same thing. It is how our organization prioritize business, what values that entails. And we can also distinguish between strong cultures, they're very tight and close in it, or maybe more loose cultures, they're more open to differences. And if you have an organizational culture that has very strong and very rigid prescriptions, then people may behave very similarly. They attract similar people and then retain them, and that may also override some cultural difference across countries. And we'll talk more about that later. Or likewise, corporate climate, and then of course strategy and structure are important. And we have a dedicated session where we'll talk about structure and international human resource management. International human resource management is necessary and essential for globally operating organizations. Nowadays, almost all organizations are global in nature. Regardless of deglobalization, whatever trends, almost all major companies do international business. And then not only doing business, also managing people across countries. And that may entail various kinds of challenges. Such as if you do business in many countries and you manage people in different countries, you have to deal with many different cultures and maybe also very different national practices and regulations. Here in Germany, what works in Germany may not work in Romania, or maybe not in China, because it's very different. And that makes human resource management very complex and complicated. And human resource management, such as law, or maybe some kind of aspects of consumer behavior, are very much depending on the national context. It's a very context-specific management practice. And so that's why important to consider these differences. Then we have also some other big aspects, such as convergence or divergence. That is about to what extent management practices and human resource management converge, become same, maybe follow best practices. Or maybe they remain distinctively different across countries. And then there's the big questions for organizations. How to balance or how to manage these differences. If difference persists in how to recruit people, to what extent would organizations like to standardize, globally standardize, or maybe localize? Localize because of market needs. That's a big question and a big challenge for organizations. Aligned to this is also the next point, aligning HRM practices worldwide. To what extent would you motivate and pay employees same or differently across countries, and to what extent, what aspects could you more standardize, align, and to what extent you need to modify? At the end of the day, so for people management, for human resource management, it is really important to attract talent, qualified people, engage them and develop them. Maybe on a national scale, on a global scale, but that is one of the key challenges of today. And not only differences across countries, but also maybe to certain countries. Think about certain industries and certain jobs in Germany. We do not have enough medical doctors, we do not have enough nurses, We do not have enough IT professionals in Germany. Yeah, of course, you can say, yeah, universities, government, they can train, develop such people. Yeah, they're trying it, but it's very slow. So they're seeking to attract talent from overseas, from India, from the Philippines, from Eastern Europe, and so forth to Germany to fill those vacant spots. And each country has different kind of labor markets, supply and demand, and trying to meet them the demand from organizational perspective. Or maybe for you, from individual perspective, you may also take these opportunities. Managing global teams can be exciting, but it can also be very challenging. So nowadays, it is very likely that organizations, but also you maybe in the future, will be involved in all kinds of global work. And how to manage that can be difficult. Different countries, different languages, different cultures, and how you can then also successfully work. And that leads then to the other aspect, diversity, inclusion. There's lots of potential in it, but at the same time, it can be very difficult to manage people from different countries. And then also aspects such as gender equality. This is a big challenge in Germany, in the Middle East, in Japan, and some other countries. Other countries such as Scandinavia are world leading in terms of gender equality, and that's something that can be learned, but also that can be difficult to be transferred and implemented elsewhere. So there are quite some challenges when doing business. Many business opportunities, but also related challenges. Now let's move it more to the personal level. What about you, me, and so forth, people? Why should you study international human resource management? It's one option, one of many options to study HR at master level here in Göttingen. I would like you to ask yourself a couple of questions. Would you like to become an HR professional? If so, international human resource management is a very central component of it. Or more general, would you like to join a large organization? Or it could be also a medium-sized one. Almost all of these large and medium-sized organizations are international. Even many small companies, even some startups are international, global by inception. And maybe also you would like to become an expatriate. Maybe you like to work abroad. Some of you have already studied abroad. Would you like to go again? Or would you like to also to start or spend some time abroad? And even if you have no such ambitions as mentioned before, you don't want to become an HR professional, you don't care about large, medium-sized companies, you don't want to become an expatriate, but even if you stay here in your local village, it is very likely you will be confronted with people, colleagues, customers from different countries. And international human resource management will prepare you for these kind of things. And hence, of course, I can recommend you this course. All right, now I would like to talk with you about the course, specific details about the course. So let me start talking about the content and objectives. So the content, no surprise, it's about international human resource management in general, but also specifically about the context. I talked about the external environment, how it shapes management and human resource management specifically. And we would like to talk then about the international and also comparative aspects of HR practices. So meaning how to offer HR practices such as recruitment, payment, and so forth at global level, and also in comparative perspective, meaning how does it differ in, let's take the example, in China, in Brazil, or in Germany, how does it differ? And then how then organizations manage on a global scale. And now let us talk about some of the objectives. So what we hope to achieve together. So first, it would be good if you can increase your understanding of human resource management in an international context. That's the content, and I would like you to achieve a higher understanding of it. And to do so, I would like you also to apply international HR concept to real life examples. So not only theory, but also application of it. And we do so via case studies. There will be short case studies in the lecture, but in particular also we have dedicated full-length case study discussions in our tutorials. And then third one, also my hope is that this course will also help you to be better prepared for global careers or careers in a global environment, which per se are most jobs anyway nowadays. Let me briefly talk about class schedule and some general information. You will find also such information on the syllabus. Here are just some key aspects that I would like to highlight. First, about class hours and location. So this session is online, but all other subsequent sessions will be face-to-face, in person, in the classroom 006. And on Monday and Tuesday, the first face-to-face session will be on November 6th. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you live in the classroom. We have regular lectures and we have tutorials. Both take place the same room and same time. We have 4 tutorial sessions. You will find the details here and also in the syllabus. And then there will be the exam on December 19th. Room details will be shared later on. And the exam will cover all the lectures, reading material, case studies, and so forth. In this class, we will use a textbook, and I'm very proud that we can use a textbook which was authored by me, including myself. It's managing a global workforce. The advantage now is also that the book and the slides, they're perfectly matched. And all the material. It's not just any book that gives us some inspiration. You can find and read all details that we discuss in lecture also in the respective chapters. And you will notice that certain lectures correspond to certain chapters. It's very obvious by title, you will find out. So I very much recommend you come to the lecture, listen, and also the advantage during the lecture, you can ask your questions. And then before and after class, you can also browse through my book. So essentially the course structure, it consists of 2 components. Part 1 is lecture. Part 2 is tutorial. In the lecture, I will teach the lecture. It's mostly about theoretical understanding of international human resource management. I would like you to see the big picture. And I may also include a few short mini cases, maybe some experiential exercises, but rather briefly and short. And maybe I also will introduce a few of latest research so that you also understand how scholars or how people like me try to advance our understanding by studying a real life phenomena. So lecture, theory, and also some reference to practice. And then we have tutorials. In these tutorials, the main focus will be working on case studies. So in each tutorial, you will discuss 1 case study in depth. You may also review some of the class material and discuss, and there's also time for maybe some review. In both lecture and tutorials, I very much encourage you to ask questions. That's why we have these live sessions. Otherwise, you can just watch video. But the big advantage of these lectures and tutorials is we'll meet face to face. You will meet your classmates, you will meet us instructors, and then we very much encourage you to ask your questions. We would like to entertain your questions, which help us to gain a deeper understanding. The lecture will be taught by me. The tutorials will be taught by Alara, who is a research associate and a doctoral student. So 2 of us will be teaching this course together. I think Alara would also say a few words to you. Alara, are you there? Alara, hello. Would you like to say a few words?
Hello, my name is Alara Yaman. I'm a research associate and doctoral student at the Chair of Human Resource Management and Asian Business. Before coming to Göttingen, I did my master's in international business studies at FAU Erlangen-Nuremberg. Now I'm working on my PhD, which is about gender equality in the workplace. In this winter semester, we will work on 4 different case studies during our IHRM tutorials. These tutorials are designed for you to actively participate, to ask your questions, to discuss the case at hand so that you can be prepared for the exam fully. I'm looking forward to our tutorials together and see you soon.
All right, we already have come to the end of this session. So let me try to summarize and conclude. So globalization, regardless of deglobalization and so forth, there's widespread globalization in business. It leads to all kinds of increased competition, complexities, opportunities. But that also means then international human resource management becomes important for corporate success, but maybe also for you, for your individual career success. Because of that, then key HR activities become more challenging on a global scale due to the various cultural and national differences across countries. Because of that, I do hope you are interested in this course and we can study international human resource management together. I hope this video helped you to give you an overview about the course International Human Resource Management. I hope you will like it. If you're interested, please come to our face-to-face sessions. It will always be held in this classroom. Looking forward to seeing you. Bye-bye.